What's up, fam? It's your boy Rico, the GearHead here with another episode. So it's Friday, so you know how we do. But before we even continue, if you're new here, hello and welcome to the #1 channel in East and Central Africa that brings you great, epic, fun, and informative motorcycle content many have come to love. If you're new here, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you're updated whenever we post a new episode every Monday and Friday. Well, at least we try to, but one thing for sure is you'll always get 2 new episodes every week. Now, today we'll be reviewing this wonderful bike, the Dayun DY200-2. It's a 200cc single cylinder 4-stroke engine that is air cooled. Now, I don't have all the facts with me. Reason being, I just got this bike. I was told, hey, are you around? I have this bike, would you like to do a review on it? I was like, yeah man, bring it. That's what this channel is all about. By the way, if you're out there and want me to do a review of a certain bike, kindly hit me up. My number is on the about tab section on my YouTube page. You can go there. Beth Mobility, Dayun Kenya, not Dayun, but Domina Kenya, KTM Kenya. You know, holla at your boy. Let me do some reviews of your bikes, man. Help this nigga out, help this boy out. Let's make content. Let's make great and epic content. Now today we have, like I said, we do have the Dayun DY200-2. It's a 200cc bike, single cylinder 4-stroke engine. Like I said, I don't have all the facts here, but I will put them on the screen so that you can see all the details about this very specific bike. Now we're going to be giving a first impressions review about this bike. The thing that we're going to be covering is the build quality. We're going to be covering the ergonomics of the bike, how the bike feels on the road. The other thing that we're going to be to look into is the looks of this very specific bike. Now it's a Chinese bike. It's not a bad looking bike. Yeah, as you can see, Dayun. I'm not sure if you can see, but you can see the Chinese thing is there. You can see all the things out there. But the one thing to note is that it's not a bad looking bike after all. This bike is the naked version of the Dayun DY200, the sport bike. I know some of you have seen it. It looks like actually, what does it look like? Now it does quite resemble the Yamaha R3. I will put a comparison side-by-side view so that you can see the bike. Now Chinese people, they're very good at imitating, or rather producing copies of such bikes. Now I'm not sure what this bike is a copy of. If you know what this bike resembles, please let me know in the comment section below. I really love reading and replying to all your comments. Now it's a 5-speed gear. It's a 5-speed gear engine. I really wish I had all the facts down. I just got in so short notice. I had a video prepared but it wasn't done. But anyway, we have this. This is what we're going to use. Now the owner of this does not come stock like this anyhow, but however it does come with this very specific rail guards. I think you can mount some top boxes there, but the tail tidy, he hasn't done any tail tidy. The only thing that he has done, he's put on these grips there. He's added on these auxiliary lights. The other thing that he's done is he's changed the rear tire massively. Now that's a massive tire. I think this is let's check. It's where are we going to look? Where are we looking? Oh, it's a 170. Damn, it's a 170. I think this is the very rear tire that comes with a Suzuki Bandit. Hold on, I think this bike resembles a Suzuki Bandit, if I'm not wrong. It does come with when it comes stock, it comes with the same as the Benelli TNT, which is a 130. It comes a 130 stock. If I'm wrong, do correct me in the comment section below. I'm not quite sure, but I do think it comes with a 130 at the rear and a 110 rather. Oh no, it's a and with a 100 at the front. Now it does have both disc brakes at the front and at the rear, so you're assured of some very awesome stopping power. Now without further ado, let's like it has been before on this channel, for any bike that we review, we always have to have a sound check. Now, before you even get the sound check, as you can see that the dash here, we do have a digital dash. And one thing that to note is that it's not a fancy dash whatsoever. We do have our gauge here, our fuel gauge here. We do have our rev meter here. We do have our speedometer here, our gear indicator, and of course we do have the time. Now we can change the mode. This is the number of kilometers that we have gone, and this is a trip that currently. So you have these two buttons. Only have this one kind of resets everything. And I do believe that also you can change the time once you press on to that quite long. So that's all. Then one thing to note is that whenever the bike is off and whenever you remove the key, we do have hello, we do have this clock running. Maybe the dash has an onboard battery or something. I'm not sure, but I guess that does live on. So it kinda, do not be scared if you think it's on. Maybe it's not draining your battery or anything. But yeah, so that's how the bike is. Before we continue, let's have a sound check. Let's put it on neutral. So guys, as you can see, we do have the owner of this bike put this big muffler on top. Let's have a sound check. Ooh, that sounds so beautiful. Oh, that's a beautiful sound. And he has added on some auxiliary lights. As you can see, we have those two auxiliary lights right there. We do have some beneath the foot peg here, and some underneath somewhere. Now we do have the two front shocks, and then we have a monoshock at the rear, which is kind of hidden in between the fairings and stuff. So without further ado, let's take the bike for a short ride, and then we'll see how it goes, shall we? Yep, let's get on. Oh.
So I'm going to cut this audio short. One thing that I realized is that the great sounding awesome of the bike kind of did overlap my voice, and it made it even more difficult when I was editing this video. So for the sake of your ears and mine, also for the sanity of trying to make things a little bit simpler, I am going to be doing a voiceover from now on. I do apologize once again. It's not something that I was anticipating, but anyway, we adapt and we move on. So as I was pointing out, that the thing that I did notice about the Dayun DY200 was that it had from the point of the shocks, from where the front shocks end, usually there's a small lift, or rather a bracket, whereby the handlebars rest. Well, in this case, the Dayun DY200 does have some raised clip-ons. I'd like to call them clip-ons. They are raised up to about, let's say, around 15 centimeters or so, and from then on, that's when they have the extended handlebars. They kind of have those sportish look clip-ons, but it's for the handlebars. They are quite comfortable. They are quite raised, so it gives you a nice sitting posture, 90 degrees from your feet and 90 degrees from the shoulders all the way to your elbows up to your handlebars. Now the other thing that I didn't notice about the Dayun DY200 is that it has some twitchy throttle, not the kind that you can see that you have on the maybe on a higher cc bikes, but how can I put it? It has a very soft, very easy, manageable, not manageable, but twisty, as in you just pull in. It's so easy to turn the throttle on this very specific bike compared to other bikes like the Benelli or even the Zontes, compared even to that. Now the other thing that I can say about this very specific bike is the again, it's a posture. It does have, I think, of all the three bikes, the Benelli, the Zontes, and then this Dayun, I think the one that came in with the most, I could call it rigid posture was the Dayun, because you sit very upright, so your legs form 90 degrees from where your foot pegs are. For a Benelli 150, your legs are kind of tucked in a bit. The pegs are a bit backwards to give that sportish look. But for the Dayun, it's like you're sitting on a chair and your feet are flat on the pedals. I guess that's why people prefer it to long distances, because it's sort of like a cruiser or something. But I digress. From the posture, you get a lot of comfort. This is very suitable if you're considering doing daily commutes, or even if you're kind of a person who occasionally likes to go on long stretches of road, over long distances. I remember, I do recall some time back, we did go with the owner of this bike and myself. I had the Benelli. We had a small trip whereby we went to Kinangop and then back, then to Naivasha, then back. Along the way, I did get to ride it on the highway. The bike performs superbly well. The best cruising speed I'd say for this bike is around 100 kilometers per hour. That's where the bike actually say cruises very well without straining the bike too much. And also the other thing that I can say is that the weight of the bike actually assists the bike a lot when it comes to stability. The bike is a bit heavier than the Benelli 150. It comes at around 148 kilograms wet, which is a bit on the heavier side. But once you get rolling, you cannot even feel the weight of the bike itself. The bike is not as nimble as the Benelli TNT 150, but it's not bad. That's what I'm trying to say. The bike is fun. That's one thing that I can tell you rather, that the bike is very fun. But is it suitable for maybe a beginner rider? I'd say yes. But the learning curve is a bit steeper, because it does have quite a pull, not the kind that will make you fall off unless you're not careful about what you're doing. But it does have enough pull to, maybe if you're not careful, you might run into someone, or even on the side, or even at the rear end of a car. But if you're careful enough and if you have enough discipline, this bike can last you quite a while. The power band is I'd say it's on the higher side. It does start a bit slow, then gradually increases momentum as you go on. The one thing that I also noticed about this bike was that it was, like I showed you earlier, that the owner had installed 170 on the bike. Like, I think it's meant for the Suzuki Bandit or something, but the bike itself had some few compromises. I think the largest size that I've put on mine is a 140. I don't think I can go beyond that. But for the Dayun, I think you'll have to compromise. He did compromise on the stability. That's one thing, because the bike was a little bit jerky. There was also loss of power, because the engine takes it needs a little bit more power in order to move the bigger wheel behind, compared to its stock, which was a 130. I think you'll also have to compromise on the power at the end, and also top speed, because you won't achieve that great of a top speed if you had let's say like a 140 or a 130, which is a stock tire. The other thing that I did notice about this very bike is how well the shocks feel. They are not hard. They are not. It's neither soft nor hard. It's a little bit hard, but on a bumpy road with the right cushioning on your seats, if you have the right seats, you could substantially soak in those bumps and those potholes very well without having too much of a hassle, or rather without feeling the effects of the bumps on your body. That's one thing that I did notice. The other thing that I could say is about the brakes. The brakes are not as good as the Benelli, but they are decent enough. When it comes to brakes, I'd say that the Benelli does come first, followed by the Zontes. Then finally we do have the Dayun DY200-2 coming in at last. The other thing that I can say about the bike is, apart from the weight and the posture, is that it's not actually a bad bike to have for a beginner. And also, I know a lot of you guys are concerned about the sizes, or rather servicing, parts and everything. The bike is Chinese. They are filled. They're all over the country. We do have a local dealer here in Kenya, at Kahawa Wendani Captain Motors. That's where they all come from. They import the parts. If you go there, parts are literally parts are moving in day out. There's plentiful of parts, so just be assured that you won't lack any parts. And besides, it does have its younger siblings, the Dayun DY150. There's also the sportier version, like I showed you, the Dayun DY200 that resembles the R3, but I think the engine is the same. It's only that the fairing is a bit different, and also the framework is a bit different. I did get some questions about this bike, but I think that I've covered all through the questions that I had been asked for, about my very opinion about this bike. If you're interested in the bike, I'd say, hey, go on. If you have to compromise on the looks, but the bike is suitable if you're a beginner, if you want to have something that you can commute to daily with. About the mileage, I'm not so sure about, but within if a bike is in its optimal condition, let's say you're going from here up to Naivasha per se, I think you'd have to fuel, I think, twice, I'd say. I'm not sure, but the consumption, of course, is a bit higher than the Benelli TNT 150. There isn't much information about this bike. So about the ground clearance, I think I read on a post somewhere that it has 1100 millimeters of ground clearance, not ground clearance, but the height of the bike from the highest point of the bike to the flat level, rather where the tires meet the ground, is 1100 meters. Like I said, it also has the highest seating position, I'd say, compared to all the three bikes. Otherwise, apart from that, it's a perfect, rather, it's not a perfect beginner bike, but it's a decent beginner bike if you're looking for a little bit more power, but not too much power. If you want something like the 200cc, and you don't want maybe you feel like the 300cc is a bit too much, and the 250, well, you can either get 250 or 200cc, which is fine with me. But if someone was to go for the Dayun DY200, I would have no pressure, no stress, whatever. You can also get them at Captain Motors. Like I said before, they have plenty if you're looking for a new bike. If you're looking for a second-hand bike, they're filled all over. It's usually used for border businesses. If you're interested in that kind of thing, they come in very cheap. I think this one was bought at around 170 to 180,000 Kenya shillings. I'm not sure about the figures. If you know the current price of the very specific bike I'm talking about, please let me know in the comment section below. I am quite interested about it. Anyway, that's all that I had for this review. Is there something that you feel that I've left out? Maybe you want to add on something. Let me know in the comment section below. I do love reading and replying to all your comments. It brings me so much joy to see that the family is growing. We are growing at a steady, continuous pace. Do share this video, or rather this channel, with your friends, your rider friends, those who are aspiring to enter into riding. This is the only channel that you can get all this information locally. So yeah, and also if you're new here, do consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell. We do post videos every Monday and Friday. Well, at least we try to, but be assured we do have 2 new episodes every week. Now we're almost announcing the next giveaway series, but before we even do that, we are going to be putting up a poll to show the kind of things that we do have in mind, and let you as the audience choose whatever you want to have, whatever you'd like to be on the next giveaway series. So until next time, guys, do subscribe if you haven't. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, ride safe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.